Hello everyone. In the previous video I have talked about the ego. What it basically is, how it creates suffering for us, and I have also talked that it's not about killing the ego, but changing your relationship with it. And I have also ended with a question. If not ego, then what? How do you live? How do you move on in life, doing whatever you have to do, if it's not based on the ego? And in this video, I will talk exactly about that. Now, this is a deep topic. I could write a big book about it, and in fact, many have been written. So this video is not meant to exhaust the topic completely. It's just meant to give you an idea and some pointers so you can observe it within your own life and start paying attention to it and growing your own understanding of what you really are and how it works. In this video, I will be using two terms, the true self and the false self. False self is ego, mind. It's this thought-made identity. It's who you think you are, what you think you should do or avoid. It's basically your identity in your mind and living based on past and future and desires and so on. But there is another part of you, if I can call it that. It's your true self. And people have different names for it. They're not exactly the same, but maybe you have heard terms like higher self, soul, higher mind, divine self, God within, I am presence, many names, but it's basically pure consciousness. And to describe it and the challenges associated with it, with realizing that in your daily life, I will start with a metaphor. Because you are pure consciousness and in a way you are invisible to yourself. In a similar way that an eyeball cannot look at itself directly, right? By definition, whatever the eyeball can perceive, it's not itself. Yes, an eyeball can see itself in a reflection in this metaphor, but it's not literally looking at itself. So just like the eyeball cannot look at itself, and a knife cannot cut itself, fire cannot burn itself, in the same way, you as pure consciousness, you cannot know yourself in the way we generally mean. Like you can know a tree or a dog or your own body, your own thoughts, because you are consciousness. Now, one of the big misunderstandings among spiritual seekers, especially on these paths associated with meditation, awareness, self-inquiry, so practices like Buddhism, Advaita Vedanta, non-duality. The big misunderstanding is that it's just only awareness, passive awareness. So it's just a witness. You watch the life unfold and you're just the observer. You're like watching the movie or being aware of the movie of life playing out. Yes, it is one of the functions, but consciousness is actually quite active, and there are many attributes to consciousness. The first pointer is start paying attention to what is being done without thinking. So basically, every spontaneous action, and a good example of that is dancing. I don't know if you're a dancer, but Every dancer knows that when you have to think about the dance, how you should move, what should be the next move sequence, and all these things, it's not really fun. The true pleasure in dancing comes when it's spontaneous, when you really get into the flow, and it's just presence, and the dance just comes through you. In a way, you could say that the dance is being channeled or comes through you, yeah. And you just flow, you just move. The moves come naturally and it's very enjoyable. Dancing is kind of like a natural meditation, really. The second pointer is let me start off by some explanation. The false self, the ego mind, whenever it tries to achieve something, it needs a target. So imagine a map, like a treasure map. So you have a target where you want to go, what you want to achieve, what you want to reach, and you want to have the terrain painted, drawn, and the mind wants to know the specific path, how to get there, right? So you have a target, you know what's around and how you will get there. Your true self doesn't work like that. Even though there is a part of you that has a bigger picture of where your life is going to, at this level, it communicates to the human self through guidance like a compass. So operating from the false self is like following a map. Operating from your true self is like following a compass. So the compass will tell you only in the given moment what's the direction, and follow that, follow that, follow that. So you have to stay present and aligned with yourself, ideally every moment. But to be realistic, you just have to do it often enough. But start paying attention to it, that you always have this choice. And the way it communicates is through, well, intuition. It communicates through many subtle or invisible aspects, but also some visible. And for example, the feeling of joy, feeling of excitement. You know, if you're really aware and self-aware and conscious and attentive, then you will notice that whenever you do something, you either do it because this is the voice of your false self. So, you know, do this because we have to do this to achieve this, or blah, 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 whatever. Or it's just joy. It's the voice of your true self. And if you trace it back, you will see that there is no reason for that. You're not really doing that because you want something, although your mind might pick up on that and start justifying it. But basically, whatever you do, it's always either from the false self, because you expect a certain result, or true self. It's just the joy. The joy is driving you. And if you trace it back, you will notice that there is no logical cause for that. For example, maybe you just want to learn how to play a guitar because it's just exciting. There's just joy. You just want to explore that. And of course, it's possible also to, for your mind to generate the same goal for different reasons. Maybe, for example, you want to learn how to play guitar to get some attention, to impress girls or whatever. But your true self doesn't operate like that. So that's the pointer number 2. The joy, excitement is this compass, this direction of your true self reflected through your body, through feeling. And it's also interesting to note here that basically at any given moment, you have the ability to listen to the voice of the false self, the ego, which is fear-based, or the voice of your true self, the heart, which is, let's say, love-based. But are you starting to see the difference here? Yeah. Yeah, you know, I'm just, an image came to my mind. When I was a boy, it was somewhat a common theme in child cartoons that you had an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other shoulder. And now that I think about it, it's a pretty good metaphor because, like I explained, in any given moment, you have the ability to listen to voice of the false self or voice of the true self. I wonder who came up with this. Okay, third pointer. Your body is also a feedback system. It's a feedback that will tell you which voice are you listening to. So if you listen to false self, then it tends to contract you, stress you. It produces more thoughts. Your energy is lower. You might feel more tight in your body, stressed, anxious. If you listen to your true self, then it raises your energy. You feel lighter, you feel more excited, joyful, you feel kind of elevated. It feels good. So you can also use that. Okay, let me think, what else can I cover in this video before it gets too long? I think that's it. For this video, it should be enough. Let me know if you have any questions, any observations of your own, or if you want to learn more about that or go deeper. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.